Hello. Well, I thought I might try talking even though I don't feel like it. It's been kind of a rough week. Uh, I checked my last video, I think it was on the 14th. So I don't think it really has been a week. It just seems like a week. But yeah, I've not been feeling very good. And my leg is, well, since I saw that doctor, my leg has just been real bad. Like, real bad. And, I mean, I have the gabapentin pain pills, but they kind of make me dizzy. And I don't know. I don't, you know, I don't like them. I just don't like pills. Period. I mean, to be honest, I used to like pills because I used to like downs, and that is what I was like. Oh, what is this? Xanax? Oh, this is just another down. I didn't know about benzodiazepine, so I got some off the street, and I didn't know, about the severe dependency issues involved. And I had always if I had a chance to like take some opiates, like somebody had some spare opiates or something like that, I never had the same issue with opiates that I had with benzos. It's like opiates, I never got, you know, screw around, take them. And technically, they're wanting to give me morphine and shit anyway for the CRPS, so I never felt bad about oh, you got a couple of spare uh, codeines or uh, codeines, Percocets or whatever. Yeah, okay, I'll take those bad boys. I never bought them, but I would just or I'd get them for like an appointment or something like that. Because they used to give out opiates pretty freely. Uh, Now you actually have to go to pain management. A doctor can't even prescribe them for you here in Ohio. So yeah, so really, yeah, that's that opened the door for me as far as oh yeah, this is just what's this do? This Xanax stuff. And it wasn't like the first time I had taken a benzo. I just didn't know what they were because doctors had given them to me in the hospital, and even prescribed Xanax for me when I was a teenager, which I didn't even remember. You know, but yeah, I might as well tell that story. I probably told it on here before, but I OD'd on Xanax. I had forgotten that it was Xanax that I had OD'd on because I got a lot of stuff back there in the past. It's not like I just keep it hidden from myself. It's just all hard to keep straight. So, anyways, I had to go to school, and if I remember correctly, I think it was in the 10th grade. I think at Perry High School, and yeah, I couldn't sleep the night before because generalized anxiety. I'm not sure who prescribed me the Xanax, but it was Xanax. And I just kept taking it because it's not a sleeping pill really, but it'll put you to sleep if you take enough of it. So my parents freaked out because I had a brother that killed himself, and they thought I was, you know, doing a suicide attempt. So there was about that deep of pills in the bottle, and I thought they would think I was smarter than that because if I'm going to commit suicide, I'm going to take every fucking pill possible available to me. I'm not going to say, oh, about eight'll do. Eight'll kill me. They're they freaked out. They woke me up. But I was like, shoo, it's off in la la land. I remember my dad yelling at me, and I think I had an arm around, or my dad was like half carrying me, and it's like, what did you do? What did you take? And he's yelling at me and shit. Right now, I don't remember what he said. Then I ended up in this was 1985, because because it was the year that the Chicago Bears were the hot football team with the fridge and the punky QB and Jim McMahon and Walter Payton, and they were hot shit. People were looking, they were going to go undefeated, but they didn't because Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins beat them with some freakish weird plays, where they would have went undefeated. Anyways, that's how I remember the year. So I get taken to the hospital and treated like an OD when I was really just like, you know, getting loaded. Basically, like it'd be like if somebody drank too much and you woke them up in the morning, when they only had a couple hours of sleep, and then you're like slapping them around, like trying to wake them up and shit. It wasn't much different than that, but it was Xanax. So I go to the emergency room and do the SERP of Ipecac routine. Ipecac. Blah. Yeah. So that was fun. And then they threw me into a psychiatric unit and came out of there crazy as shit. I have no idea why they let me out of there. When I came out of there, I was stone crazy, man. I was just a depressed kid who had his reasons for being depressed. Let's see, 85. If I was born in 67, how old would that make me? Do the math for me. 17, because my birthday's in January. So I was 17. I was just a depressed 17-year-old. When I went in, when I came out, all kind of fun stuff happened to me when I was in there. They used to throw like the adults in with like underage people. So I was basically like, the guy who gets sentenced to prison and tried as an adult. So I'm sharing a room next to a guy that's like 35, 40 years old, threatening to rape me and stuff. This guy's threatening to rape me, and I don't know if he's joking or not joking, but I didn't find it that funny. And I've probably told that story before, but I was like, scared kid, in a fucking psychiatric unit when I was 17 years old. And I was like, yeah, you come over here. I got a 6-inch knife hidden under this bed. And he was like, yeah, well, I got a 6-inch something else hidden in my pants. It was like that. This dude's right over there sleeping next to me, joking about raping me. But later on in the, hospital stay, I set him straight and scared the living fuck out of him. So, it was a whole big thing. The way I remember it going down was, I was shooting pool with some black dude who was teaching me how to shoot pool because they had a rec room. Once you get out of the closed side, this is how psychiatric units worked back then. So this was at Altman Hospital. Once you got out of the closed side, when they were sure that you weren't going to stick a fork in anybody's eye, or like eat your own feces, or I don't know, dance the tarantella. Just when they thought you were stable, they would put you in this other side. Now on this other side, they had a rec room that had a pool table. So this black dude was teaching me how to shoot pool. And it's not that I didn't know how to shoot pool. I wasn't very good at it. So this dude that had been threatening to rape me, like smacked me in the back. And I had those back surgeries, because I had a back surgery in 84. This was before I had my reconstruction surgery when I was 18 years old. I had an off switch. I used to call it an off switch. So if you hit me in a certain place in my back, it like disconnected the nerves to my legs and I would just fall down. So, he's like smacks me in the back, says nice shot or some bullshit like that. I don't even know how hard he hit me, but he hit me in my off switch. So I reached up and I grabbed, I was just grabbing him to keep from falling, but I grabbed him and like ripped the whole, he was wearing like a hospital smock or something. And I just ripped it off of him, and he's like, they have all these bouncer types in psych units. They used to wear like white shirts. They're just basically big black guys in white shirts. So, it's like prison, basically. That's what it was like, anyways. So he's like holding up his hands and he's like, hey man, he just went for me. He just went for me. I didn't do nothing. He's like, because you get roughed up, You get roughed up, you know, thrown in a straight jacket, thrown in isolation, doped up, thrown in restraints, tied to a bed. You know, this is some serious. So you're like, hey, I didn't do shit, man. He just went after me. So after that, man, I just just psychologically terrorized him after that because he thought I was attacking him. So I just rolled with it, you know, and I just would stare him down and I just look at him and I would just keep looking at him every time I ran into him. I would just look at him and look at it. And he asked to have the rooms changed and everything. He got one, just get the fuck away from me after that. 17-year-old or no 17-year-old, he just like, fuck this. So, you know, I was able to intimidate him. Well, you know. So, yeah, I come out of the hospital. I was fucking crazy as shit. And yeah, I don't know. It's all bits and pieces, you know. It's all bits and piece memories of various things that happened. But let's just say I didn't have like a smooth childhood. I didn't have a smooth transition to adulthood. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've made it to adulthood yet. I don't think I ever will. So, yeah, it just didn't work out, you know. Um, like I was telling this dude in here, like I had a dude in, this in-home doctoring thing is dope. I mean, it's really just so goddamn convenient. It's crazy. It's like, ordinarily, that's one of my fears about going to the doctor was like, they're going to send me to here, they're going to send me to there. I got to go, like, I'm going to end up having to go to Timken Mercy to get x rays, go to this other fucking hospital to get blood tests, you know, because it's a big rigmarole. And that's the thing I was afraid of. Now, with this in home doctoring thing, here's how it went down a couple of days ago. They called me at 8 o'clock in the morning and are like, hey, the doctor has some x-rays ordered for you. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, when do you want to schedule that? And they're like, how about today? And I did not sleep much the night before. And I was like, how about tomorrow? And he's like, cool, you can do it tomorrow. I call. So I'm you know, set my alarm and I'm taking up dope to go to sleep at night. And I wake up 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, hey, how about 9 o'clock? I'm like, sounds good to me. Dude shows up at 9 o'clock, takes chest x-rays in my house with this weird portable machine that weighs like 170 pounds. And it had like big ass wheels on it. And it had like a, my brother made me describe all this shit because he's just like mechanical minded, technical person. So I'm like, it had this arm thing that folded out of it and pointed at you where it had the little like square X thing where they shoot you with the radiation and shit. And he was like, man, I'm glad you didn't live on the second floor. And I'm like, yeah, and you got that wheelchair ramp out there, make your life easier too. Because he was a little effeminate dude. I mean, I don't care about sexuality or nothing like that. He was taking x-rays, that's it. So, you know, I didn't have to get naked. So I wouldn't even care about that, you know. Like, but anyways. Um, yeah, he would have to lug that son bitch. I asked him, how much does that weigh? And he's like 170 pounds. And I'm looking at the dude and I'm like, you don't weigh 170 pounds. How the fuck are you going to get that up steps if I lived upstairs? Like, it may have wheels, man, but that would, yeah. That'd be like moving a damn refrigerator by yourself on a dolly, humping it up the stairs backwards. Yeah, that's probably what he was thinking when he looked outside and saw it was like a two-story building. He was probably like, oh shit. Um, anyways, so, oh, that's so much easier, man. It's like I got this bruise. I don't know if you can probably see it like right there from where they drew blood. Today's Monday. My appointment was a week ago. It's still there. That's what blood thinners do to you. So, yeah. I remember like when I was going to the rapist doctor, he sent me to this hospital, like Affinity Hospital. It's closed now. It's where my cardiologist was shot to death in the parking lot. That's not why they closed it. They closed it for other reasons than that. But That's where my cardiologist was shot to death in a murder-suicide for fucking other dudes' wives. But anyways, it's like all I needed was blood drawn, and I had like, you know, ride down there on a bicycle. I remember like where the fuck? There's no place around here to lock up my bicycle. My bicycle is worth money because it was an electric bicycle. So I gotta find like whenever that happens where there's no bike rack or nothing to chain it to, I gotta find like a sign, like a no parking sign or whatever. So I gotta lift this I don't know, 100 to 125 pound bike like up and over this curb and lean it against a sign and like loop this chain around, tie it to the sign, then unfold my cane, limp over to the hospital, register, ask a bunch of questions, sign papers, go to admitting, and all this crap. Now this dude just comes to my house. He don't ask me shit, man. He's just like, I'm like, I got that chair over there, and he said that chair will be perfect. Bing, bam, boom. Yeah, and we smoking cigarettes. He's out the door. It's like that's a big difference, you know. And uh, it's I mean, they're called like visiting physicians association. And which reminds me, I got to call this other place. I think I was gonna, go to this other place that's called Life Care, and talk to them, and because maybe they would do something with my knee, but they do have me set up with an orthopedist. Uh, I haven't heard from him for a week though. He said he was going to put the referral in last Monday. I've been checking my phone. You know, they ain't called yet, so I'm not really getting my hopes up because of prior experiences with orthopedists where they basically consider me a leper. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably just cancel um, the other appointment to life care and just stick with these people. Because really, it's just my deal is my knee. I gotta have something done with my knee, and I gotta have an official doctor, an official primary care provider. And if I don't, you know, I could lose my benefits. It's just a rule. And then, I need someone to prescribe me stuff. As far as like how reasonable this guy is, they have follow up appointments, which I guess is part of their deal. So I'm gonna be seeing what they call like, damn it, not a registered nurse, whatever the hell they call somebody that's like below a doctor. Um, Fuck, I don't know. I can't think of the name of it, but they're gonna have somebody come in here like every 6 weeks. I'll have to back burner it, and I may remember. I don't know. Like, unfortunately, I'm not sleeping well, and my knees fucked up, and so I'm not getting a lot of sleep, and I have to set my alarm because I need to be awake during business hours. I didn't have to be awake during business hours yesterday because yesterday was Sunday. So I slept until 5:24 p.m. That's how things are going for me. It's like it's been rough. Um, Damn it, still not there. I'm going to give up. Whatever's below an official doctor, you know. Hmm. Drawing a complete blank. I mean, even thinking of the murdered doctor when he was before he got murdered for fucking other people's wives. He was out fucking other people's wives on his lunch break, and then he was late for my appointment. So I saw one of those people that are like underneath the doctor, and I think they have some of the magical powers of the doctor as far as writing prescriptions and whatnot. But they're gonna send one in here like I think every 4 to 6 weeks. They said something like that. So to check up on how you're doing, which is kind of cool, and because I can be like, look at my knee. Tell that doctor, man, steroids. Say it with me, steroids. Like give me some oral steroids. Look at my ankle. I haven't taken stock of what's going on here. Yeah, my ankle's still. It's a good leg lift. It's still somewhat swollen. I've been trying to stay off of it to see if it'll help. Um, it's not good for me either. And yeah, like um, I've been getting like tachycardia, whether it's anxiety related or not. I don't know. But I don't know how many metaprolol metaprolol I have left, or they'll be like they'll this guy will prescribe me that, or one of his underlings, and or I have to go see a cardiologist, you know, about that. I don't want to be poked and prodded no more in my life, period. But this is where I'm at. I don't have my watch on. So I take it off for a change, but yeah, I can almost guess what my pulse is these days, anyways. Uh, it's not a fun game. It's not a guess your weight, win a prize. I don't get to win no prizes over it, but like just randomly, my pulse will be like 113. I won't even do anything. None of it makes any sense. So yeah, I'm kind of in a black mood. Well, that's racist. That's what they used to say back in the old days. Winston Churchill called it the black dog. I think that's where Led Zeppelin got the name of that song, because he had an expression, because he suffered from severe depression. He called it the black dog whenever he got bad depression. But yeah, can't say I'm in a black mood. I'll say I'm in a dark mood. I think you're allowed to say that. I don't know what you're allowed to say anymore, because you know how I like to talk. I like to write even more than talk, because I'm much better at writing than talking. So I'm writing this big long thing, and then YouTube has a new filter on it where you can't. You might put like I put serious time into writing, you know. So I put a half an hour of like research, careful thought into a post, and I'll go to post it, and it won't post or it'll look like it'll post, and it'll disappear because YouTube has a new filter in it where you're not allowed to say certain things. If they see a certain word in a vicinity of another word, I'm not talking about using the N word or talking, uh, a bunch of vulgarity. I'm just saying like you can't say certain things on YouTube anymore that you used to be able to. And I don't know what the new rules are, so I waste a lot of my time writing, which most people would say it's a waste of time to write on YouTube anyway. But some people read my stuff. It's like this. Some people like it. Some people read the stuff that I write and respond to it. Not always positively, but that's okay. I enjoy being called an idiot or an imbecile in print. Actually, it just amuses me. Honestly, it does. It cracks me up. Yeah, I like making counter arguments and stuff like that. I used to debate a lot, in print. Kind of an expert at it, so I really don't like to do it because it's not fun. It's like when we played football in a schoolyard. An actual football player played with us. What possible joy could this guy get over running over us as teenagers? It's like nobody could tackle that guy. The guy was like some kind of varsity guy that was like, maybe had a bad day of practice, or maybe the coach chewed him out, and he just came and took it out on us. We're just regular jerk offs playing like schoolyard football, 15 years old, six, however old. And this guy comes in here with thighs this big around. It's like, yeah, we're gonna tackle you. It's not happening. Hey, you're like a varsity football player. I think you're even older than us too. It's like, this isn't right. We're playing here to avoid people like you. So that's like, I, I that guy apparently enjoyed doing that, like, beating up on kids. It's like, I don't enjoy beating up on people in print. It's like, it's beneath me to do that. So, you know, I don't like arguing with people in person. It's even worse. Uh, yeah, the person that had my uh, that has my food card called me up, and yeah, they were. I didn't bother. They were like, they offered me the 2-for-1 deal. 50 cents on the dollar. I didn't take it because I just don't want to deal with them. Period. It's like, yeah, okay, I got like $1,600 on there, but no, I just don't want to deal with it no more. So I'll turn down the free $1,800 and just waste. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to waste like all that money on food because I get free food. I mean, I can buy things that, I don't know, like grapefruit. Because of my teeth, I really can't buy much snack foods. I was thinking about trying some popcorn, like, some good white cheddar popcorn or something like that, but I don't really enjoy eating, so I haven't eaten yet today. I've been up since I had to set my alarm early, so yeah, I've been up since 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to be awake in case they call me and make an appointment about my knee, which I really like, just feel miserably pessimistic about. Um, yeah, not feeling particularly cheerful about that. Yeah, when you go through all that shit when you're young, it just kind of all blends together. I mean, I'm 53 now, so it's like that stuff's all in the past. I remember that guy was a freak though. He said some weird shit in front of my parents about, yeah, that guy was a weirdo. But my parents had come and after they I don't blame them for it. I mean, they're just they had issues, but yeah, that was uncool. It's like, no, clearly, if I was trying to kill myself, I would take the whole bottle. I would not take like 10 pills or however many Xanax I took. I took enough Xanax that I was off. I was off. You gotta remember, I only slept like 2 hours tops by the time the Xanax knocked me out. I just kept, okay, I'm not sleeping. I'd wait for it to work and I'd take another one. I'm not sleeping. I don't even remember the dose, of course, or anything like that. But it's like you would check the bottle and be like, okay, this isn't really a suicide attempt. We should take him to the doctor and make sure he's okay. Now they rushed me into the emergency room like it was an OD. Told him I had OD'd on some pills. I don't even think they took the bottle in. And it's like they treated me like a suicidal head case, which I was just depressed. I had a lot of anxiety and hated school, but I got like a shitload of all before I was 20 years old. Then it took like my whole 20s when I was, yeah, it took my whole 20s to get my head straight. And by the time I got to be like 30, I knew who I was, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. But then my brains got scrambled in 2003 when I was about 35, all over again by something I don't want to talk about right now. But it reminds me of when I almost drowned in the Chickagumi River or Chatta. I don't know what it was, some Indian name. But I was asking my cousin about it because it was on a camping trip with him. And he named off the Cinnamahoning River. I'm like, I don't think it was the Cinnamahoning River. I think it was that other river because there was two rivers there. But anyways, it kind of reminded me of like almost drowning in that river because like I couldn't swim, so I had no business being in a river, especially after like 3 days straight of rain where it's just like a torrent. It's not a river, man. It is like a torpedo of water. So, I told this story before, so we'll make it quick here. Is I'm getting cleaned up because there's no place to take a shower, and there's girls in the camp besides. I mean, that's just rude, you know. So, anyways, I take like soap and shampoo and stuff, and I'm trying to wash up in the river and stuff, but I'm trying to hang on to a branch while I got arm free, like getting the pits and the zits and whatnot. And yeah, your hand gets slippery. You know, that's why I tell you, man, don't drop the soap. But they don't. They don't. That soap gets mighty slippery, and if you're like washing and grabbing on the tree branches and stuff, and you're in water with a bunch of current pulling at you, and you're in water about yay deep, you know, or however deep it was definitely over my waist. You're gonna get swept downstream eventually because your hands are gonna get slippery with that soap. Hey, I never said I was all that bright, and I'm grabbing onto this thing, so I just get swept downstream into the current. I'm flailing around and I'm drowning and shit because I can't swim, but I can float on my back. So I started floating on my back, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm floating on my back. But then, like, I'm looking down river, and I see like a little twig coming in the water, and I'm like, why is this twig moving so damn fast? This twig is moving so damn fast because it's moving faster than me because it has a larger surface area because it is connected to a big old stump, and this stump whacks into me, and then I start drowning all over again. Now, however that related to what I said prior to the story, it's basically like, okay, yeah, I had my equilibrium in my life, and I had myself to where I was stable and I was floating, and the stream of life was carrying me toward my destiny. And then something came along and whacked me into me like that log and flipped me ass over tea kettle. So, anyways, I started drowning all over again when I got hit by that log or stomp or whatever the fuck it was. Look, I didn't really get. I just saw a big thing of wood and then I got hit by it. So I'm back drowning all over again, all panicky and shit. And I got to get my shit together and do the only thing I can do in water successfully, which is float on my back, and I could backstroke. But I wasn't trying to backstroke or nothing because I was just getting washed downstream in this raging river, and I got washed into the shallows. I was just going, I guess, and I was like, I don't know what state I'm in now or how far this river goes, but I might end up I'm in Pennsylvania right now. I might end up in New York State. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm not going to drown. I'll be alive. So this happened when I was like 15 years old. I haven't dreamed about it in a while, but occasionally I'll dream about it. I'll dream about like being washed down in some water. In the dreams, it's usually fun though, but in reality, it was just not. Almost drowning twice. Usually, when you almost drown, it only happens once. But yeah, I almost drowned it twice in the same event. That usually doesn't happen. And usually, I almost drowned it before that, and it was just a one-time thing. Somebody jumped in and saved me from drowning when I was a little kid. So, but this time, I almost drowned it twice because the panic is what kills you. It's like it's the panic. Yeah. Um, but you have to overcome that panic. Like I said, that's the only thing I could do. I knew the mechanics of swimming, but I could never figure it out because I'd always get water up my nose, and I just hated it. So I could never do a forward crawl. So I could just float on my back, or I could doggy paddle. Paddle wasn't going to hack it in that mess. So I wasn't going to be able to keep my head above water, treading water, or anything like that. That was just like I said, man, it was a raging torrent. I had no business going in there, and I was using soap and hanging on the tree limbs and shit. Yeah, real genius. I'm really good, when it comes to like abstract reasoning, but when it comes down to concrete, logical things, I will pick up a board and step in the hole that the board is covering. I will like go into a river and wash up with slippery ass soap and hang on to sticks, not realizing that, yeah, the soap on my hands is going to make it hard to hold on to this tree branch or this bush branch, whatever branch the fucking thing was connected to, and I'm just gonna go float rocketing downstream, and that swimming thing. Yeah, my parents never taught me much, so I never, nobody ever taught me how to swim, and they had like courses in school that were supposed to teach you how to swim, and I would always ditch them because everybody else could swim like fish, and I couldn't, and it was embarrassing. So I would ditch them, and when I did have to go, they never taught me anything anyway. Uh, yeah, at the CYC, I think the Christian Youth Center, they had a pool they would send you to. But anyways, so what that was all about was basically, uh, yeah, my life has been a very turbulent affair, I would say, and I don't remember shit all that well. I remember the very first benzo I ever took was actually halcyon, and there's a story behind that I told on here before too. But I didn't know, I didn't know halcyon was a benzo. They just say, here's some halcyon, it'll help you sleep. And they didn't tell me that, one of the rare side effects of halcyon is temporary paralysis. I just had a spinal surgery removing a tumor from my spine and was threatened with paraplegia and possible quadriplegia. So they give me something that has a side effect of the feeling of temporary paralysis. So I wake up from the halcyon and I'm like telling my arm to move and it's not moving. And then I'm in full fucking panic after that. But yeah, I told that story before. It's on here somewhere. It's I, I have respect for my long-time listeners, and I try not to do too many repeats. Or if I do repeats, like the almost drowning story, it's like I will keep it to a bare minimum as far as details. But a lot of shit happened when I almost drowned. That's a lot longer story than that. When I almost drowned twice, so I can't believe that's me right there. It's like I survived the panic. I'm floating. I'm breathing. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And I'm looking. I see this little twig like shooting toward me. I'm like, why is that motherfucker going so fast? And then once it gets close up, I can see under the water. I see that this is a twig off of like a section of log. All I know is it's a big brown shape, and twigs are generally connected to wood. So I won't say stump. I won't say log. I don't know what the fuck it was. All I know is it hit me broadside. Because me, like a dumbass, this is part of the story. To make it a short story, I skipped over. Is like I tried to get out of the way of the thing, and then that is why I got hit broadside with it. Is because maybe if I stayed on my back, the twig might have hit me in the nuts, and the log might have passed underneath me, and I would have just had sore nuts. But no, I like tried to get out of the way of it, so I tried to get in like a doggy paddle position when I saw it coming, which just gave it the opportunity to hit me broadside in the ribs and torso section and submerge me under the water, and it rolled over top of me. That's how that went down. So, yeah, I was just trying to make a. Yeah, you know how you take that shortcut and it turns into a long cut? I think that's just what I did right now. But yeah, my water is like all the way down there on the bottom of the bed. I don't want to get it. I didn't put it up here because, as you can see, there's some clothes up there because that one industrious aid worker of mine. Well, I'll give her a Clarice. I'll call her the name like Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. Clarice. I'm not gonna call her Nurse Ratchet. That would be wrong. Clarice was kind of cool. So, anyways, Clarice comes in here and she just blew through this room and cleaned it all up. And like she like washed all the pesticides and stuff off of here from the bed bug crisis. She got behind there and cleaned out the cat uh, two piles of cat shit with all the cat litter over top of it. Just cleaned this whole place out. Done. And it did take her quite a while Because, yeah, the last time I cleaned this place was before September 22nd when that dude smashed my knee. That physician's assistant, Jeff Wilhelm, starting to rain outside. So this place hadn't been cleaned for months and months and months. So as you can imagine, it was pretty nasty in here. Plus, it was cold as hell. So I was like, she's used to worse. I mean, aid workers, it's a horrible job. You know, they do all kind of horrible, nasty shit. But I'm a prideful soul, so I wanted it to be not 41 degrees so I could open the windows and air the place out and stuff. But yeah, I was like, man, this is going to be the essence of funk in here. It's going to be funky as a motherfucker in here. So, but yeah, she rolled right through here and did her thing. I'm like, you're going to run out of stuff to do. It's like, she's like, what do you got? She's 68 fucking years old, man. She comes in here and she got the energy of somebody like 35. And she comes in here and she don't want to sit and talk, man. I was like, I got to sit down for a minute, you know. She's like, no, what do you want me to do? I was like, okay, man, whatever. And I think she'd be like that regardless. But her mom just died, so you know she's having a hard time sleeping, and maybe sitting and thinking and talking is not what she wants to be doing right now. She wants to keep active and stuff. But yeah, she told me some interesting things um, that I'm not going to say on here, but it leads me to believe that she has a relaxed attitude about life. In other words, fuck the rules. I'm going to do what makes sense. And the cool thing is she asked to be my aid worker because she's like, I'm supposed to see uh, Steve on Friday. And they're like, no, we're going to send you to this place that's like 3 cities away. And we're going to send this other person. I'm like, and she's like, that other person lives in Navarre. That doesn't even make any freaking sense. I live closer to him, and you're gonna send. Logistically, it doesn't make any sense. So she argued to be my aid worker, and she told me she's gonna be my aid worker. Now, how long, the company allows that to happen, I don't know. I had the 300-pounder for like months at a time, so she'll probably run out of stuff to do in here because I don't move around enough to make much of a mess. It's just me in here, you know. So yeah, so we might end up like playing cards or something, or maybe like if I can get that food card. I don't, I don't like to waste money, but if I get that food card, I would like to have her cook me a meal or something. I don't know. Um, because there's just gonna be nothing. She's just too efficient. There's just gonna be nothing left for her to do. Yeah, I was thinking about like how I had talked on the last video, like how badly I wanted to go fishing. I've been watching fishing videos, which I never used to like doing because it's not satisfying watching somebody else fish. I mean, you can watch porno and handle your rod, but if you watch a fishing show and handle your rod, that's just weird. It's like it's not satisfying fucking watching somebody else catch fish, It just makes you want to do it more. Whereas the other thing, you can get some kind of satisfaction out of it. But anyways, like my pulse rate's been all over the place. My legs been hurting like hell. It's like I don't even know how I'm going to be able to get down to the water. And like I said, uh, these guys are strong guys, but I weigh about 200 pounds. It's not like they're going to like carry me on their shoulders. And it's like my brother is smaller than me. The other dude's 67. It's like, yeah, I don't, I can't, they have to carry me down there bodily. And I'm like, I don't see that happening. I didn't win the Super Bowl or anything like that, so, and they're not like NFL linemen, so they're not going to be able to carry me. I was like, how the hell are they going to get me down there? And I thought about like that one scooter that I have actually disassembles. I've never disassembled it before, but it disassembles, and you can actually put it in the trunk of a car and then reassemble it. Now, I ain't got, I don't know if I got the ambition for all that, but he might have a vehicle where we can maybe even pick it up and put it in the trunk, and I could try to use it as an off-road type of vehicle and just, you know, tool up to the water. I mean, it will go off-road within reason because I have to go off-road because when I go down the ramp out here on it, I'm going through yards. I gotta, you know, hop over a little like gully onto the neighbor's driveway and then out onto the road. So, you know, even then, I don't know if I'll enjoy it because I might be in too much pain, get all doped up, then like, yeah. But if I'm like using a walker, and it's pretty far to the water. I'm trying to think, but I should try it just to do something different. Figure it out some way or another. They can leave me in the car and show me a fish. I swear to God, I caught like thousands of carp in my life. It's another thing. Like uh, when I was healthy, I never had fishing opportunities, so like I was stuck catching carp. So I'm a master carp fisherman because I grew up fishing in places where your options for game fish very limited. And I forgot what a carp looked like. I haven't seen a fish in so long. It's like, wait a minute, because they showed like a carp, a species of carp. Like the mouth was more like a sucker, and he's like, I'm not sure what species of carp that was. And I'm like, because the carp that I'm used to catching is called a common carp, and its mouth is more in the front. This one had like a sucker mouth carp type of deal going on. He said thought it was like a buffalo carp or something like that. Anyways, I forgot. I was like, man, I forgot what a carp looks like. It's like, you know how many thousands of carp I caught in my life? I mean, I can literally say that I am a master red belt carp fisherman. I would only bother carp socially. That's like that's like me arguing with people online. It just doesn't make any sense, you know. The carp are the children that I would be picking on. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. To make it more interesting, I designed like almost a fly fishing because fly fishing is basically making fishing like way more difficult than it has to be. That's what fly fishing is. So, you know, it's like you can catch trout on corn and just annihilate trout on corn. But, or you can like figure out how to flip around a fly rod and get that whole line thing going and drop a fly down just so. Or you can take a spinning rod, you can put on a couple kernels of corn, and you can throw it out in the water and catch yourself a trout. It's up to you. You know, some people like to make life difficult. You know, it's just more sporting or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I figured out ways to make carp. Well, my brother started it. My older brother taught me how to fish, so he had this weird system for carp fishing, which, at least in my area, very few people knew how to do. So they were always fascinated by it, which is you can actually, if you use a light enough line, you can hook bread up by itself and catch them off the top like a fly. So what you do is you throw in enough bread to get them feeding off the top, and then you can sight fish. It's the only way I enjoy carp fishing. And you can sight fish and like you have to make accurate casts and stuff, and you know you have to cast in a certain way in order to keep the bread from falling off the hook and everything. It's a whole big thing. But nobody, I mean, I've fished a lot and around a lot of people, and I've seen absolutely nobody else that wasn't named Barton using this particular technique of fishing. It's like people are just like, "What in the hell are you doing? How do you get that bread to stay on your hook?" You know. And then like they would try it with a bobber. And then you know, the bobber freaks the fish out because it smacks down the water. Why am I talking about fishing? You don't care about fishing. Why am I talking about fishing so much? Just because I want to go fishing. Uh, um, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's like raining out right now. I could call, I mean, if I call my one friend up and tell him, like, I'd like to try fishing, he would definitely make a point of, like, making a special, making it like a special occasion. Take, my brother and me and him would go fishing at this pond. I wouldn't even need a license. It's just, I don't know if I'd enjoy it. The last time I really didn't enjoy it that much, and I was in a lot better physical condition than I am now. But, you know, I have the rotten, and if it gets to be too painful, I could take blood pressure medication with me and shit down there. I might give him a call. I mean, I said that last time, but I had a really bad week. I don't know. Is today the 19th or the 18th? I made a video on the 14th. I know there. I was interested in the are we going to have a riot, full scale madness trials, or the George Floyd trials? Actually, George Floyd is dead, so it's the Derek Chauvin trial. So I've been interested in that and following that just to see how bad the civil unrest is going to get. And I thought they were going to do closing arguments today, but I guess they postponed them till tomorrow because I couldn't find them today. And then I found something that said that they were tomorrow. But I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I was sort of interested in that. And yeah, that's actually what I was writing about when I was talking about not being allowed to say what I want, which irritates me, especially since I'm polite and not rude to anybody and don't use foul language and whatnot. Uh, Apparently, I can talk about all kind of filthy shit on here, but I'm not allowed to write it. So, you know, I figure people don't have to read comments. People don't have to watch videos. If you don't like what you're reading or you don't like what somebody's saying, click it the fuck off. There's a million other things on YouTube you could be watching besides me, and there's a million other writers out there besides me you could be reading, so why can't I say and write what I want? Makes sense to me. And of course, that is how'd that go? The most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you. It's some kid song off of Sesame Street, I think. Yeah, I used to sing it to my brother to, when he was younger, because he was so fucking self-centered and all he cared about was himself. I would sing to him. The most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you. Using Sesame Street to abuse your younger brother when you're a kid, that is what the intent behind Sesame Street is. Yeah. So really, I was just like, all I care about like is being able to say what I want. I mean, I talked about like somebody tripping over two homosexuals fucking each other in the park. And I'm allowed to say that on here, but I'm not allowed to write it. I guess it's because like they have like new rules on YouTube that they just instituted where all my videos are listed as age restricted, which I'm pretty sure basically means they just put up a banner and then you click on the banner. It's some kind of formality nonsense, you know. Like a porno site where it says you must be 18 years or older to enter. Click here if you're 18. If you're not, do not click here. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just some kind of like formality to make people feel better. And they don't have that in the comments. In other words, like anybody can read those comments. So apparently that's why they have the filter on there now. But it's really annoying to write something and take your time doing it and display your expertise. And then you post it and it's gone. It just doesn't exist. And it's like, oh my god, I just wasted a half an hour on that, which it's really not a waste because you're using your mind and you're honing your writing skills and whatnot, but nobody else gets to enjoy it except for you. And that way it becomes masturbatory, and not in a good way. Can I pretend like there's coffee in here? So far, so good with these people upstairs. They're running water. I haven't met them, but you know, I don't, I don't leave the house, and my leg's killing me, so I don't feel like limping out there and meeting them. I'd rather be Boo Radley. I'd rather be the mysterious, scary guy right now. They see me, they could be like, you know, because they probably heard about me from the landlord, and probably like, this guy's a bit of a hothead, you know, and then maybe they talk to this guy about him. It's like, yeah, he was in the hallway with a machete and whatnot. Whatever keeps them quiet. You know, whatever keeps them quiet. They see me, they can be like, hey man, it looks like an 8-year-old could beat this guy up. Party time, let's get some music thumping up in here. Now, for now, they're been like really quiet when they're home and whatnot. But yeah, the weather's been cold around here, so we'll see when it gets warmer. Um, yeah. Well, I don't really think I have that much else to talk about. I mean, yeah, I could delve more into the horrors of my past on another day. And there's no shortage of it. There's just a lot of stuff on here I can't say. Uh, I can't say it out of respect for the living. It's not like I can't say it because YouTube will censor it, like that stupid writing filter thing. But yeah, one thing that did happen was I took the day that this, what day was that? Friday. Friday when she cleaned this whole place out. I can't help it. I don't like people doing stuff for me, so I was helping, which of course made my leg hurt like a son of a bitch. So I took like 4 Neurontin. Something happened while I was sleeping where I had the acid reflux thing, and it tore up my throat. It's probably why my voice is. It, frankly, my voice has deteriorated. Uh, I notice it's probably irritating. So it used to be a lot smoother, but you know, it's I can feel it. Whether you can hear it or not, I don't know. Whether you can hear ouch, ouch, ouch behind my voice or not, I don't know. I'm playing through the pain like Larry Bird or Kobe Bryant or somebody. But yeah, I had a whole bunch of acid reflux, and acid gets up in there from your stomach. That real powerful acid, it'll tear your throat up. But I was like asleep, and somehow that happened where I had like that just happens sometimes. I just start coughing, and feel the urge to cough, and I got up and I took baking soda water and drank some milk and stuff, and nothing seemed to help. And like I didn't go to the Pepto, try to calm things down or whatever the hell was going on in there. But it didn't help that I was zonkered on, you know, uh, four gabapentin, which is only 400 milligrams, which is actually a relatively mild dose. But to me, it's a lot because they don't prescribe much to me, so I don't have much tolerance built up for it. So being zonkered didn't help the situation. But hopefully this had some entertainment value. I don't know. Yeah. As far as the quality of the videos that I make, I'm not really. I try to be as entertaining as I possibly can while filling you in on the details of this horrendous thing, this ongoing torture, this monstrosity that is my existence. I try to keep you updated on anything that's going on. It's kind of interesting to have have them drag an X-ray machine into your house and get an at-home X-ray. Like, I didn't know that was possible, but like I said, what a treat compared to going out and going through admitting, going through outpatient admitting, walking past lobby A to elevator B and getting directions in these big hospitals and whatnot. Though I wouldn't be doing much walking through a hospital now. I'd be in a wheelchair. Um, but yeah, keep you updated on how things are going. Trying to tell you some amusing or at least interesting, occasionally horrific story, um, to make it seem like it's worth your time to listen to me. I do my bestest. Yeah, that's what my foster brother used to say. He's like, yeah, that's my best group. People still say that, I imagine. That's my best group. That's the rock band that I like the most, in other words. So I've also heard people say that's the bestest. So yeah, I try to do my bestest. Usually, yeah, the quality scale, like the waves of the ocean, it goes up and down. So yeah, I'll see you in a few days. Goodbye.